Hi, welcome back to Two Hughes Review. I am Hadley.
I am Jarrod.
And today we watched the 40th Flash animated special, The Scream of the Shalka.
It was something.
Yes. Let's just start. We're not Fitz and Cuff. We are two random losers. One of us has appeared on this show before, and this is your first official appearance, Jarrod.
Yes, and also, I don't like Doctor Who.
Yeah.
So this is great.
Yeah. We'll talk more about what the hell's going on at the end when we plug our own channel. But for now, what were your thoughts on The Scream of the Shalka?
So, it's a Flash animation that was released in, was it 2003?
Yeah, 2 years before the new series started.
Yeah, so that means that when the new series started, it was like, oh no, this didn't happen. Don't worry about it, guys.
That canon lasted longer than the post-credits scene of Black Adam did, so...
A very high bar. But look, it wasn't terrible. I was really worried going in. I was like, what the fuck did you boys get me to fucking watch?
It hits all of the beats you would expect of a Doctor Who episode, which is what I'm kind of disappointed by. I was expecting something a little bit weirder for something so obscure.
Yeah, they really did just say, hey, let's do Doctor Who, but for a fraction of the budget because it's a Flash animation.
Yeah.
How long was it? It was 70 minutes?
70 minutes.
Yeah, it's a little long for a Flash animation. It's pretty impressive. Again, considering a lot of my notes are going to be it was a Flash animation, guys. But, no, you know what scenes that really fucking noticeably held back in? When it was just the Doctor talking to a dude.
Yeah.
It was just you'd go for 4 minutes of just in close-ups because it's cheaper to animate a close-up of just people talking. And it's come on. Yeah, I don't care. Show me the alien, man.
The heads would move, the eyebrows would go up and down, and the mouth was insane.
But again, it's a Flash animation, so it's impressive it happened at all. There's some really fucking cool shots in there. Don't ask me for specifics, but there were a couple moments where I was like, oh yeah, those are some nice colors.
Yeah.
Some pretty okay composition. I'm trying to figure out what's the most important stuff to talk about.
Well, let's
probably Richard E. Grant.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into the full episode, but first we have a thing to cover called the time scales. If you don't know what that is, you don't. But essentially, there's this website that has user ratings for different sort of categories. So the episode has an average rating of 7.1. How do you feel about that?
7.1?
Yeah.
This is a charitable 6.
I agree. 100%.
Yeah. People don't know how to rate stuff. This is a problem I've had for years.
People think 7 is average.
Yes, when that should be what a 5
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Going through 7.1% of people think that this requires a previous story.
Yes, this can't be your first Doctor Who.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? You don't need to have watched Doctor Who before to understand what's going on. You might be a little lost with the Master stuff, but it is kind of just throwing you in the deep end here, even if you have watched a Doctor Who episode before. But this is not a good first impression.
It's interesting if you're a fan.
Yeah.
If you're familiar.
Yeah.
I was watching it being oh yeah, because I've seen a good couple seasons of it. Because I saw all of the Eccleston stuff. There's so much of it.
Yeah.
And I saw most of the Tennant. I don't think I saw his last year. So going into this, I was oh yeah, this sure as fuck is Doctor Who.
Yeah, they nailed it. So it's got a 7.2 for plot.
7.2 for plot?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Again, a 6 for the plot.
Yeah.
Maybe a 5. I don't know. It's a little hard to tell because it's an animation.
Yeah. It's interesting. It hits sort of the similar quality to the movie we ended up watching for the other April Fool's video, where it is boring as dog shit in that first half, and it does pick up a bit when we get into the mind control stuff.
I feel this was at its best in the middle.
Yeah?
I feel the ending kind of loses me, just with how much these aliens can do. But that chunk in the middle where can we spoil the story? Does anyone care? If I talk about the story a little bit earlier.
Yeah, go ahead.
When it's the Shulkers want the TARDIS, that's when I was okay, that's fucking cool. Let's see more of that. They get in the TARDIS and the Master is there, and it's okay, what the fuck is going? The Master's in the TARDIS? That shit was cool. And then you get to the end and it's the Shulkers make people scream to destroy the atmosphere, and that's what they want. Why do they want the TARDIS? to go to more planets.
Everyone wants the TARDIS.
It's just like so cool.
Yeah. My dad has a TARDIS. Why doesn't your dad have a
What
TARDIS?
the fuck? Dad said it's my turn on the TARDIS. Come on.
We've got a 7.7 for acting. This one I do kind of side with. It's hard to tell with like voice acting, but I don't think anyone's terrible.
Well, that 7.7 goes entirely to Richard E. Grant.
Yeah.
I was thinking the whole time I was watching it, and I didn't want to do any Doctor Who dick sucking. But like, the dude, for just his voice, the dude is selling it. I said multiple times when we were watching it, fuck, I wish this was live action. Why couldn't this have just been a movie, a couple episodes, like a mini-series, an event? Because I want to fucking see Richard E. Grant saying all this shit, because he's getting the fuck into it.
Yeah.
With just his voice.
And he's not given the best writing, but he does work with what he's got.
Yeah, that's right. And if you could see his face and if you could see him in the moment acting, he'd probably be able to sell it even more.
This one's a little stupid because it's like, I don't know how we rate this, but 5.9 for effects.
Yeah, that's entirely just like how impressive do you think it is that it was done on the cheapest animation possible?
Like, Neil Cicerega could have done the same thing, like, at the same time.
That's very true.
Yeah.
I will be charitable. We'll give them a 5.
Yeah. And 6.8 for replay value.
Zero. Zero for replay.
No.
I'm never watching that again.
I'm curious what, like, regular Doctor Who fans would think on this, but this is pure gimmick.
Yes.
You're here for, what did they do with this Flash animation? As soon as you've seen it, there's no, like, setups and payoffs that you can, like, appreciate.
No. Well, again, I couldn't believe how long it was. I was like, oh yeah, Flash animation, maybe it'll go for like 12 minutes, half an hour if we're lucky. 75 minutes!
That's an opinion right there.
Oh.
Well, how they put it off was that they just didn't really animate it much, so they could stretch it out to 70 minutes. So generally, this is the part where I have like a paragraph I can read out to you that summarizes the whole thing. I couldn't really find something like that, so we're just going to do the Goosebumps thing. We're just going to go plot by point.
Yeah, I don't even remember it. I just watched it and I've forgotten most of
So
it.
it opens with 2 government guys, like one of them's dressed like he's on vacation, so I was a little confused, but a meteorite comes down and they alert to base, and it's the Shalka, and it goes underground and it does the scream. This is my main issue with, like, at least the tone of this episode. It's just these random cutaways where the Shulkers scream.
Yeah. I don't have a lot to say right now. Keep going, Hadley.
So
fuck the Shulker. Fuck the screams.
So we cut to a bar in Lancashire, I think they call it.
I don't.
Yeah.
London,
Yeah. Rochester, Lunker.
It's fucking London, innit, mate?
And this is where we get the human characters. We have a bartender that is randomly important. So we have our sort of companion for the episode, Allison. Allison thinks that she's stuck in a rut of a town and she wants to go explore the world. Definitely very unique character trait for a companion to have.
Never happens. Never happens.
She's stuck down by her boyfriend Joe, who's like, oh, but Lancaster shows, it's pretty great. So I don't know why you want to leave, Allison.
We got the pub.
We gotta go to the pub, mate.
We can't leave, we gotta go to the pub.
And, like, she refers to the bartender as her boss at one point, so I guess she works there as well?
Yeah.
Now,
moving on.
Let's talk about her weird alien face for a sec. So, I don't know what the fuck happened, but they didn't quite line up the eyes right, and the nose is just a little bit too small for me.
It's, like, specifically, like, her right pupil for me.
Yeah.
Like, drifts just a little too far to one side.
Most shots, it's okay. Whenever she's front-facing...
Dead on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a whole subreddit about people taking screenshots of front-facing Simpsons characters for that exact reason. It just don't look good. So then we get our Doctor, who shows up in the TARDIS, very TARDIS-y faction.
And he's just, like, not happy to be there at the moment he shows up.
He says, oh, I wasn't supposed to show up here.
Yeah.
And he runs into someone turned into solidified lava. Yeah. And we meet our homeless lady, who gives us a general gist of what's going on. There's these screams and vibrations being heard underground that is scaring the town into just, like, being afraid. They don't have the courage to speak up about all the weird shit going on. So he goes into the bar and he meets Allison and whatnot. And eventually he stalks her home, I guess, to like confront her about what's going on.
Yeah, he said that her name was on the payslip. I don't think I was paying attention to know when he got the payslip.
Yeah.
But yeah, he did that.
Yeah, he stalked a woman home in good
Quirky
old Doctor Who fashion.
Quirky Doctor at it again.
That's it. And basically, Joe's like, no, don't tell him what's going on. I'm too scared.
We can't talk about it. The fucking lava monster will hear you.
Look, I'm not scared, alright? If there was an army, I'd join. But it's just me. Joe's a bit of a wimp, alright? We get used to that. Allison eventually does come clean. And I guess at this point, do they go underground?
Doesn't Joe get the balls to talk about it, and that makes one of them appear? Yeah, no, they blow up the building.
Yes.
Yeah, they blow up a whole fucking building.
They
blows up the house.
That's right. They were like, oh, I heard the explosion's not too big because that's our house.
Yeah, the Doctor starts fucking MacGyvering a bomb, and they're like, what are you doing, Doctor? We're gonna get out of here. He's like, shut up, I'm making a fucking bomb.
Yeah. And then he's like, you hear that? That's the sound of freedom. And then cue all the conservatives coming in.
Yeah, all the houses are like, none of them monsters are dead. Yeah. Because the Doctor thinks he's got them all now, because he thinks they're gonna be paralyzed underground. He thought that there was only like the 5 drones. There definitely isn't like a fucking queen here or something.
No, he's never seen aliens.
Yeah, no.
So
Idiot.
I do like when like all the lights in the houses go up and they're all like talking. It doesn't sound like them cheering. It sounds like them like crying at the sound of a giant bomb going off in their town.
Yeah, he's like, everybody's so happy to be free, and everyone's like, what the fuck?
It's 2 in the bloody morning!
Who the fuck set off a bomb?
So basically, he calls in UNIT and he's like, I don't want to be involved in this shit anymore.
What was the bombings in World War II called in London? Is it London
The Blitz.
Yeah, Blitz.
Blitz.
It's like, the fucking Blitz is back again.
And then he's
Joke
like,
was definitely worth the detour to go back
thank
to
you very much. Now I have to remember where I was. So he calls in UNIT and he's like, I don't want to deal this crap anymore. You do it.
Yeah, he's got the fucking military on speed dial.
Yeah. And
has the Doctor ever had like such a buddy-buddy relationship with the military?
Yes.
Okay.
One of the companions in like Classic Who is called the Brigadier, and he's basically like some army major. He's shown up in 2 episodes of Classic Who I've watched for this podcast, and I imagine he's a pretty big deal. I'm also at least in the new series, you see him like enter UNIT in the trailer for the new series. So obviously,
he's in the newest season. Sorry, season 1.
Yeah, series 1. UNIT's a big thing.
Right.
So I'm trying to figure out. I know Allison gets kidnapped. Does the Doctor go with her?
Is it called UNIT?
Yeah.
That sounds like Gun in
Yeah.
Sonic.
So Allison gets kidnapped, and the Doctor is like, okay, well, I kind of like her now. Like, she's got huge companion energy, so I might as well, like, convince UNIT to help me go into these tunnels to chase after the Shalka.
I think at this point we can mention as well, this Doctor clearly has some PTSD about a previous companion that is obviously no longer with us.
Yeah.
Which is fun, and it kind of helps to contextualize why he, like, does not want to get involved with people when he goes back. He's like, because when he's first like so happy that he killed like the 5 drones or whatever, he's like, great, I'm done, I can go home now, right? And then it's like, no, Doctor, there's more going on. He goes, no, I don't want to be around that Allison girl no more because I like her, and I don't want to be around to watch her die. I want to go home.
Yeah. Well, okay, so she gets kidnapped. The UNIT goes in, and we meet a giant slug monster that is like, I think he said that it's an amalgamation of tiny shulkers.
Yeah, I don't even know what its fucking purpose is other than to get the Doctor to the next scene.
Yeah, so they start throwing grenades at the thing, and the Doctor runs to it as it explodes so that there's a cave-in separating him from UNIT. So basically just need a UNIT to get in. Now he just wants to be left on his own. So he comes in, and he meets the Shalka Prime. Shalka Prime's like, we are the superior race. We are not just Dalek clones. We are here to take over Earth. Our home isn't destroyed. It's none of that, like, sympathetic alien bullshit. We're just evil. Yeah. We've got a whole empire to run. So you need to get out of our way, Doctor. And you know what I'm going to do? We're going to throw you in a black hole. That'll show you, and you'll be compressed into a singular atom. Try regenerating from that, bitch.
I just realized one bridging piece of information that we forgot. was after he kills the 5 drones, he's like, cool, I'm done. I'm going to go back to my TARDIS. And the TARDIS has been dropped into the ground by the Shalkas. Have we mentioned that the Shalkas burrow underground?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well,
they're really well, like, yes and no. We haven't properly covered. They're really into lava. They breathe volcanic gas, I guess.
Yeah. You eventually find out. Well, at the part that we're at right now, you find out that they hollow out the ground and they have like kind of like tunnels and caves that they live in under the surface. But the way that they attack people and control people through the London place that we were in earlier was they can burrow through the ground and come up and like jump up and attack. So what they did was they dropped the TARDIS into like its underground tunnel, and now they have the TARDIS at their home base. So the Doctor's like, fuck, I literally can't get out of here until I deal with this fucking mess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And basically, Allison is let go, per se. She's shot through what I guess is a geyser and comes onto the surface where she meets back up with Joe, and units basically evacuating all of the citizens to go to some place. So they follow them there, except, oh no, it's a swamp. Why are we all at a swamp? And then everyone's acting real strange, and they're all gravitating towards Allison. And then Joe notices something on her forehead that's kind of like a pimple, and he pushes it out, and it's like a little Shalka thing that starts screaming and is commanding all of these people to start trashing the place up, I guess.
Because they've all been exposed to the Shalka's screams before. Which means that they're under control of the Shalkas.
Yeah.
These Shalkas can just do so fucking much.
Yeah. It's the scream, man. The scream does too little and too much.
It's so fucking much.
So the Shalkas get into the TARDIS where they meet Dracula. I mean, the Master.
Yeah. Because both Doctor and Master look like Draculas.
I think they tried to make the Doctor look like Sherlock Holmes and it didn't work.
No.
The Master hasn't taken over the TARDIS or anything. He's very clearly acting like he's on the Doctor's side.
He calls himself the Doctor's companion.
Yeah. So the Shalkas come in and he's like, well, the Doctor's deactivated me so that you had to reactivate me so that you would have to learn how to operate the real controls of the TARDIS. So
the Master's face is like robotic.
Yeah.
Like when the Master was turned off, like his faceplate opened up.
Yeah.
It was weird.
The Master is a robot and he's a companion.
But also it's like definitely the Master.
Yeah. They explain some of it at the end. We'll get there. So they sort of like hatch a scheme, maybe. A lot of it's off screen. But eventually, the Doctor's plan is his... I don't know if it's a phone or a sonic screwdriver, but he's able to summon the door of the TARDIS from the black hole.
He has a phone that he made out of pieces of the TARDIS.
Okay.
So when he's falling through the black hole, he pulls out his sonic screwdriver, and he's like, I just need you to remember that you were part of the TARDIS, and then you can summon the TARDIS to me.
Yeah.
And then he summons the door.
So
it's like the whole door manifests and it starts manifesting like the sign. And he's like, I don't need the fucking sign, I need the fucking door handle.
That was nice.
Yeah.
That was a nice touch. And he comes in, he's like, hey, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah. Yeah, there's all the Shalks around and then fucking my Master's just like, oh, hello. I definitely wasn't betraying you or anything, buddy.
Yeah, please don't destroy me again. I'll be good.
Doctor fucking pulls the lever and fucking vacuums all of the Shalkas out. The Master's like, oh, according to our plan. Doctor's like, yep, because we're friends, right?
Alright, so at this point, the people that are under Allison's control are trashing down this, what looks like a construction site, and we get a nice little worker voiced by David Tennant telling them to fuck off.
Yeah. That was so weird hearing David Tennant's voice as Guy 5.
Yeah. Mr. Guy. And like there is established canon because in a Matt Smith episode he goes to I forgot what it's called, the Roman volcano, Pompeii. And
I love that movie with Kit Harington.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh yeah.
One of the characters in that is played by Peter Capaldi. And then when he becomes Peter Capaldi, he's like, why did I pick this face? It's so I can remind myself that I need to save people. So maybe he picked David Tennant's face so he could be reminded not to trash down construction sites. That's all I'm saying.
But it's not canon, so...
Yeah, that's true.
Sorry, bucko.
Yeah. So, I guess Richard E. Grant comes in, the Doctor, yeah. He comes in and he manages to remove the Shalka thing from Allison's forehead. He basically hatches a plan. We're going to go back underground. I'm going to eat the Shalka thing. Don't mind me. It's cool. And then once he takes it down into his gob, he starts frothing over the Shalka technology. And Allison's like, snap out of it! Get away! And he's like, no, I'm taking it in. Please, leave me away. And he's like, okay, so I understand how the mechanisms work. I understand the scream. I shall do my own. Ooh!
Yeah, he disappears for a minute to, like, meditate and, like, get his voice ready.
Yeah.
And then for the rest of the fucking series, you've got Richard E. Grant going, whoa!
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So he puts the Shalka thing back on Allison's forehead because he's reconfigured it so that she can use it to send a message to all the brainwashed people and be like, hey, you don't need to follow the Shalka anymore. Follow this. Well, he kicks the Prime into a black hole and he destroys all the Shalka. And he unbrainwashes everyone by doing the Goofy Goober Rock.
Because he kills a couple of them, and the Prime's like, that only works against fucking baby Shalka. You'd never work on me.
I'm a Toydarian. Yeah. Your Jedi tricks do not work on me.
And then he's like, it doesn't need to work on you, dickhead. Have the black hole instead.
Yeah. And he saves the day. And then Allison goes into the TARDIS and she talks to the Master. And he's like, well, you know, we basically made a deal where he either killed me or I became his robot slave.
Yeah, there's a whole theory about what happened between the Master and this Doctor. That
Your
would
theory.
lead to, my theory. A game theory.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of stuff you could talk about. But because it's only relevant to this Flash series, it's like, who cares?
Yeah.
But that has to be, like, the most interesting piece of Doctor Who story that I've experienced is, like, what the fuck happened between these two that could possibly lead to the Master being, like, a companion?
Yeah.
Quotation marks?
It'd be an interesting dynamic.
Because, the Doctor clearly doesn't trust him. He's turned him into a fucking robot.
Yeah.
Like, and the Doctor says
he
no, the Master can't leave the TARDIS.
Yeah.
And, like, that's fucking interesting. Yeah. It's fucking cool. He wanted him?
He Kuma'd him.
Kuma?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did Kuma him, that's right.
Yeah, One Piece, One Piece reference.
For all the One Piece people that listen to this.
Oh, another One Piece reference I made while watching it. I thought, like, Richard E. Grant's scream kind of reminded me of Conqueror's Haki.
Yes, you did say that.
Yeah. Do you know who voices the Master?
No.
So he's voiced by Derek Jacobi. And that name might not ring a bell to you, but he's actually plays the Master in the New Who series as well.
Oh.
He's the old guy right before he turns into the main dude.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Second time he turns into the... What plot line did that happen in? Because I haven't seen that.
That's, do you remember the Fob Watch? No. Well, because I haven't watched that episode in like 10 years. What I remember is... well, you haven't even gone into that episode in the podcast yet. I'm not going to spoil it. I'm not going to be that dickhead.
Which Doctor was it?
It was David Tennant.
So I have seen it.
Yeah, you have. You absolutely should have. But yeah, also Richard E. Grant has appeared on Doctor Who. He played a version of Doctor Who in The Curse of the Fatal Death, which Cuff and Fitz have said they might cover it at some point. And also he plays a villain in the Matt Smith era with The Silence.
Yeah, right.
And also the voice actress for Allison apparently has a minor role in a series.
Cool.
Yeah. So everyone, it's not like people were losing jobs being involved in this.
No.
Everyone came back. There was recycled material, you know?
Yeah. It's an interesting experiment.
Yeah.
My main takeaway is I wish it could have been more, I hate to say legitimate.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking Flash animation.
Yeah.
Like,
well, it ends in a way that feels like a series starter, because it ends with Allison agreeing to leave Lancastershire and join him as a companion.
So the little bit of research that I did is that apparently this was meant to be the start of a series, but it was just like immediately cancelled. Just straight away.
It's a little ugly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. What, they were released in like 15-minute segments? Yeah. I would not want to watch that.
No.
Like, watching it all in one go probably hurt even more. But I would not want to sit down, monthly or weekly, to sit down and watch that.
Well, how the classic Who format works generally is it's like 20-minute episodes, and each episode would be like a 4-parter.
So like 4 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what they did here isn't that different from how people were used to watching Doctor Who.
Yeah, but it's a lot uglier.
Yeah, it is.
A lot uglier.
And that is saying a lot. Classic Who can get pretty ugly.
And it's not even like a as was the style at the time.
Yeah.
It's just like it's just ugly.
Yeah.
And it was cheap.
We got Toy Story several years earlier.
Yeah.
You have no excuse.
It's because the internet is cool and whoa.
Yeah.
And, wow, you're telling me that we can release things online?
Mm.
That's kind of crazy. What if I give some poor young animator $50?
What if I give some poor animator $5,000 to give me a softcore porn has-been hotel animation?
A man can dream. A man can dream. I think we're running out of things to say about this series.
Yeah.
Already. I don't know. Richard E. Grant deserves another go. If they were to remake this in live action, I would watch it.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
If they did this again with, people in person on sets in front of the camera, I'd be like, you know what? You don't need to convince me. I want to see that.
And there's the designs of the Shalka could work in live action. Because they're kind of like bug things, like red insides that would get exposed whenever they do the screen.
Particularly the Prime reminds me a lot of the Xenomorph Queen.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure was intentional.
Yeah.
Shit just looked cool. Do it again. What the fuck do you have to waste?
Yeah. You've wasted... You had a whole episode where the Doctor simps for Amazon. You can remake this.
Which Doctor?
It was Jodie Whittaker.
Oh. I was kind of expecting... What was the one before Jodie?
Peter Capaldi.
I was expecting it to be Capaldi.
No, unfortunately not.
It would have been so funny seeing the old man be like, Amazon's great.
Oh, do you want me to show you her whole monologue about it later?
Oh, no, she did a monologue about it.
It was all about how great capitalism was. This is not a Jodie Whittaker bash, okay? We're here to talk about the Scream of the Shulker, and we're done talking about the Scream of the Shulker. Basically.
Yeah. I don't know. What else the fuck is there to say about it?
Yeah.
Like, sure, man, if I was a crazy little Doctor Who kid in 2003 and I had free access to the internet, yeah, I'd have watched this. And I would have been like, oh, cool. Richard E. Grant.
Well, we were saying this would have made a great point-and-click adventure.
Yes. Yes. So when I think about Flash animation, I'm thinking about Newgrounds. I'm thinking about... what was the other one? Mega Clip or something.
Yeah.
So I played a lot of fucking Flash games on that.
Did you play any Z-Bath games?
No. Is that a series or is that a developer?
That's a developer. Do you remember The Ballad of Remus?
Never played that
The
one.
Visitor?
No.
Small Favor?
No.
God damn.
I was like the gory kid.
Well, The Visitor's very gory.
You play Skull Kid?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I was all about
Everyone played
Everybody
Skull
played
Kid.
Skull
Yeah.
Kid. Bloons Tower Defense.
Yeah.
I was on the I was on Stick Page for a while, so every game was to do with Stick.
Yeah.
Tetris D, I was into Tetris D.
Yes.
Shout out.
We played that on a
Shout out
channel
to
that doesn't
cursed
exist.
series,
Yeah. Speaking of cursed channels, so this is a collaboration done with our channel, Stale Bread. So if you go over to our channel, we have uploaded video featuring Fitz and Cuff talking about 2 Goosebumps books. Scariest book ever from the most recent series, House of Shivers, and Haunted Car from the second series they did. Tales to Give You Goosebumps might have been the second series.
I don't think that one particularly counts as a main
that's the thing.
series. Yeah.
This is the official second series of Goosebumps 2000s, and also R.L. Stein's Haunting Hour. So go over there. Hopefully it's out by then. There's a lot to edit. God bless you, Cuff. I wish you luck. And it was a pleasure coming on. You'll be hearing from me again soon, I'm sure of it, and Jarrod will be on when he's on.
I think I'm on whenever we get to a Neil Gaiman episode.
Yeah.
Just because of the raging hard-on I have for Neil Gaiman.
Oh, yeah.
That you gave to me.
You're welcome. You're into Neil Gaiman more than I am now. Yeah. My whole thing is Stephen King.
Which I gave to you.
Yeah.
So...
yeah. It's a cycle, man.
It's like poetry. It rhymes.
Before we die, let's wrap it up. I've been Hadley.
I've been Jarrod.
And also
April Fools! Got you.